So like, what gives you most satisfaction or what gives you the most fulfillment being an entrepreneur?
I love working for myself. I love the freedom. I love the flexibility because it allows me to really thrive in my life in different areas. But of course, with the freedom and the flexibility comes a lot of responsibility. Nobody's coming after me to check when I've clocked in at work. I might have to push a lot of late nights. But being a self-driven, self-disciplined person, it's easy for me. But yeah, I really love the flexibility and the freedom. I also love determining and not sort of being capped in terms of what I can do. In terms of business, the possibilities for growth are really endless. They are limitless, and I love the fact that I can put my mind to an idea and see it through.
Hello and welcome to Your Preneur, your launchpad to success. I am Mbakumua Tjaveondja, an author, advocate, legal student who's passionate about empowering young entrepreneurs. As part of the Youth Opportunity Pillar under the One Economy Foundation, I'm part of the team that designs programs for skills and capacity building and unlock entrepreneurial potential of young people. Apart from that, I'm a writer for the After Break magazine, and I also enjoy exploring the intersection of justice and history in labor law. But at my core, I believe in the power of unfinished stories, and that's helping people turn their ideas into impact. So if you're like me and you thought of becoming your own boss, or turning your passion or even your hobby into a thriving business, or want to gain insights or expertise from those who have made it, this podcast is for you. So join us every week as we try and bring you inspiring stories from Namibian entrepreneurs, packed with tips, lessons, laughter, and motivation to launch and level up your business. In today's episode, we are joined by a very special guest, Dr. Petrina Aino Mwandingi, the founder of KOVA Namibia. KOVA Namibia is a luxury brand that specializes in high-quality leather bags and accessories. It's all about combining local craftsmanship with luxury global standards. So without wasting any further time, please welcome, Doctor.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing really good. I'm excited to be here.
All right. Well, your entrepreneurial journey is quite fascinating because you have to balance two different worlds, which is business and health. Can you perhaps tell our audience how the idea of KOVA came about?
Oh, wow. Okay. So KOVA came about, I guess, out of somewhat curiosity, a bit of a need also. I always used to use big leather handbags that I'd buy on travels, and I found it difficult to source these type of bags here. So I'd went around to a couple of places, asked them to make me totes. It was almost impossible. So I thought to myself, you know what? There's a lot of leather in Namibia. Tote bags aren't that complicated. I've done some DIY sewing and I've done needlework at school. So I'm sure I can make myself a bag, even just for myself. And then so I got my late mom to buy me a leather sewing machine. And it did collect dust for a couple of years in my garage, flat packed. And then eventually, she encouraged me to, unbox the machine, set it up. And then I found somebody to teach me how to stitch leather and how to work with leather. And then I made a bag and then I made another one. And I thought, hey, this could probably be a good business. There should be people out there who want bags like this. And we've got lots of amazing leather in Namibia that's local. So it could be a potential business that could possibly do great. And that's really how I started, just sort of slowly, weekends in my garage, and then we just grew organically from there.
All right. That's quite remarkable. It's a very touching story. I love the way how you've combined local talent with sustainability and empowerment.
Absolutely.
So with regards to the product that you make, obviously the handbags, obviously having it's more than just providing some sort of luxury product. It's also about empowering and creating employment. Can you perhaps share why this is important to you?
Absolutely. So it started off, the company started off really small. It was literally myself and one lady who was teaching me. And I thought, okay, we can work together on weekends because she had a full-time job at the time in leather manufacturing. So initially job creation was not what we set out to do. But when you're an entrepreneur and you're creating products, that's going to be a very good sort of byproduct. It's something that is important now as the company is growing. We started off as a 2-man weekend team and then slowly grew. At the moment, KOVA employs about 10 women. And that's not really by exclusion of the men. It just so happened. And it was a rewarding thing to know that you're giving people jobs they enjoy, creating beautiful products. I'm lucky enough to be surrounded by employees who support the mission, who are really committed to creating amazing products. They've bought into the brand and they're part of, of sort of the bigger picture. So, creating employment is definitely rewarding, life-changing.
That's good, and also contributes to the country's economy.
Absolutely.
Currently, the high unemployment rate, at least money doing your bit to curb that. So before we dive any deeper into the business side of things, we'd just like to take a step back and perhaps you could share a little bit of your childhood, how it was when you were growing up, and perhaps if you had any entrepreneurial inspirations.
Right. So I was born in the north. I was born in Ohongo. I grew up in Ongwediva, where I lived with my parents and my two siblings. I had a really beautiful childhood. I think my parents were very liberal for people from their time. So I grew up with a lot of freedom. I could really experiment, and I really enjoyed my childhood in the north. After living in Ongwediva, we moved to Windhoek, where I completed my primary school. I then went on to complete my high school at Delta Secondary School. So growing up, I think my mom was actually always an entrepreneur. She was always selling something. She was also very good with her hands. She used to sew. She'd make curtains and sell them. She'd make clothes. She'd make bedding. So I think the influence, I guess, was just subconsciously from ever since I was really young. My mom was an accountant by profession, but she had all these, I guess you'd call them side hustles now. She went on to pursue an MBA. She was a diplomat, and when she went into retirement, believe it or not, she had all the energy to start a new business in agriculture, and she was producing vegetables and supplying quite big retailers. So I think the entrepreneurship was always there. My brother is also an entrepreneur since a very young age. Although it wasn't necessarily what I set out to do per se, it's I guess it's something that I've always been exposed to, and I guess that's why it kind of just came naturally at the end of the day for me.
That's beautiful. So I believe we can say you had a very strong entrepreneurial foundation as a kid.
I guess you could say that.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I mean, and then the occasional market day at school, and then you sell this thing here and that,
Can you perhaps share some of the products that you used to sell back then on market days at school?
I think we made bracelets, and at some point we were selling cookies, and can't really remember the rest,
Right.
I remember having an art stores who were selling sort of arts and crafts. So, yeah.
Oh, that's good. Usually when you hear entrepreneurial stories, most of the time people don't really have that sort of strong foundation or a family environment where most of the people are entrepreneurs. So it's quite special or your situation is quite special.
Yeah, I've never really looked at it like that, but you're right. Yeah.
Because usually you hear people start entrepreneurship because out of a necessity or out of a need they have to find a way to survive.
Yeah, I guess for me it really just came organically.
Yeah.
Maybe now that you're pointing it out, I guess it's always been around, Yeah.
You played well in your favor. So the name KOVA, right? Like I'm Herero. So KOVA, when I hear it first, it sounds like, or I'll take it from the word omukova, which means skin.
Spot on.
Yeah. So is that the whole idea or can you perhaps share how the name came about and why that name specifically?
No, that's exactly where the origins of KOVA come from. It comes from Onkova in Moshiwambo, KOVA in Moshiherero. And I thought, let's make it sound a bit interesting, and so that's how KOVA was born. That's it comes from the origins of the word leather in our local languages. So that's exactly where it comes from.
And you came up with the name?
I did.
Was there an alternative name before KOVA?
Not at all.
That was the first name and you stuck with it?
Yeah, I thought, okay, it's leather. KOVA sounds nice. It's short, It's kind of catchy. I envisioned what it would look like in terms of branding on the product. And then it was just right.
I think what I love most about it also, how it speaks to your everyday Namibian. It's quite relatable to us because it's a Namibian language or from
Absolutely.
a Namibian
But
language.
you'd be surprised that most people can't make that link. So
really?
It's really cool that you could just look at the word and you knew, you know.
Okay.
So a lot of people are always like, where does it come from? What does it mean? So it's nice to,
All right. No, that's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
So like, what gives you most satisfaction or what gives you the most fulfillment being an entrepreneur?
I love working for myself. I love the freedom. I love the flexibility because it allows me to really thrive in my life in different areas. But of course, with the freedom and the flexibility comes a lot of responsibility. Nobody's coming after me to check when I've clocked in at work. I might have to push a lot of late nights. But being a self-driven, self-disciplined person, it's easy for me. But yeah, I really love the flexibility and the freedom. I also love determining and not sort of being capped in terms of what I can do in terms of business. The possibilities for growth are really endless. They are limitless, and I love the fact that I can put my mind to an idea and see it through.
That's beautiful. I think I like when you say you are self-driven and self-disciplined, especially like in business nowadays. A lot of people struggle having those kind of attributes. Do you perhaps have any tips? I read an article actually, where you did a couple of years back, and you mentioned your 4 Ps. As in terms like those are the tips that help you or keep you going, so to say. So like I wanted to ask, are there any tips perhaps, maybe those same ones or apart from those ones that you can share for that you've learned along your entrepreneurial journey? So anyone perhaps that wants to start a business.
Yeah. So my first one is planning. So I'm a big hip hop fan, and my most favorite group was called Dead Prez. I don't know I think they don't release music anymore. Anyways, they have they have a quote that says, plan your work and work your plan. And so for me, I've applied that through my life, through high school, through varsity. And I feel like it's very relevant in business and for any entrepreneur. You need to plan your work and work your plan. So it's good to have an idea, but you have to have some kind of map. And then you need to work to make sure that you're going to realize this plan. So planning is very important. Plan with time, when you have an idea, tweak it, take your time. But planning is really key. It gives you like a roadmap of where you want to be, right? Planning is very important. The other thing that I think has helped me build a business really is perseverance. You need to have that in order to push through, because a lot of doors are going to be shut. A lot of people might not believe in your idea, but you need to persevere. You need to keep going back to that office or back to get whatever you need. You need to persevere. The other P is passion. If you don't have passion for what you want to do, it can really die easily. When everything is going wrong, nobody believes in you, you're tired, you're broke. If you're not passionate, you're not going to be driven, and you're most likely, or you can easily give up. The other P that I think that is sometimes not given much focus when it comes to starting a business is patience. People always tell you, it's really hard to start a business, but you need to be patient because it can take a lot of time. And we only see businesses in the forefront, but it takes years. Sometimes only months to really get there. But for example, I founded KOVA in about 2017, and people will come across the brand now and think it's this new popping brand, but it actually took a lot of patience, a lot of time, a lot of hours put in when it feels like you're not really progressing. But you really need to be patient with yourself and also with your business, with your idea, with getting the right team that supports your ideas. All of that takes quite a bit of time, and you need to be patient.
Actually brings me to like one of my favorite sayings also. It's proper planning prevents poor performance.
Absolutely.
The 5 Ps.
I think I might steal that. Proper planning
prevents poor performance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that.
I just wanted to ask, like, it seems like it's obviously a lot running your own business that you started from the ground. And then on the other side, you're also a doctor. How do you find the balance between these two?
I think that comes with, luckily for me, the flexibility and the freedom when you control your own time. So I've been in practice for over 15 years, right out of right out of school, I studied at the University of Western Cape, and right after graduation, I co-founded a natural health shop, and then we moved into practice. So that's the business that I was running already, or have been running, is my practice for over 15 years now.
The practice came before KOVA?
Yeah.
Okay.
So KOVA is like my new baby, my creative outlet. So I was already in business, but running a practice, so, practicing my profession, which is naturopathy or natural medicine. How do I balance them? So it sometimes, it's up and down. One business might be busier than the other one at any given point in time. One business might need me more than the other one. But generally now, day to day, I sort of focus on my practice in the morning, and then I focus on KOVA in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's switched around. I can control my schedule in terms of booking my patients. Then I can also so it's flexible. I managed to get it all done somehow. I have amazing staff both in my practice and at KOVA. I also have a very good support system. I think, which then helps me also juggle being a mom, being a wife, being a friend. So I think I have an amazing support system. My husband is very hands-on, very encouraging. So we get to split a lot of the responsibility in terms of parenting. So it affords me the flexibility to kind of be where I need to be and do what I have to do.
And is the husband involved in the business in any way, or is strictly just you?
He's like, he's my support system, like I said, but he's not a business partner. He runs his own businesses. He's also a medical professional, so he's a pharmacist. So he's in that industry as well. So he's not directly involved in my business, but he's a really good sounding board. He's a good critic also, who really, he believes in my potential and really encourages me to grow, and really to push myself, and and I'm really grateful for that.
Oh, that's beautiful. You mentioned you are a naturopathic doctor.
Yes.
Can you perhaps for the audience just expand a little bit? Like, also first maybe tell us why you chose to step in or to go into that profession and what it basically entails.
There's a whole other long story. So during my high school years, I wanted a holiday job. So my mom got me to work for her friend who was a naturopathic doctor. So I started out, making tea, dusting on the weekends, and during my school holidays as well. And so this is how I got introduced to the whole profession of natural medicine. And I was really impressed with the type of work that she was doing with patients who had sought out, all kinds of solutions for their medical problems, and really ended up looking for a natural, holistic approach to their health problems. So I was really intrigued by that, by the type of patients she saw, the type of results she got. I loved working with people. I later elevated, to sort of receptionist and then assistant. So I was exposed to a lot of her work. I loved working with people, helping people improve their lives, really, really change their lives. People that had struggled with chronic conditions for many years and sort of wanted to give up, and then this was sort of last resort. So that's how I ended up studying natural medicine. Studied at the University of Western Cape. Yeah, so that's how I got exposed to it, and I just knew instantly this is what I wanted to do. And till today, I think I can continue to run my practice and my business because I'm really, really passionate about naturopathy, empowering patients to take control of their health, treating them holistically in terms of lifestyle, diet, incorporating herbal medicines, which is a very powerful tool for healing, nutritional supplements, exercise, massages, detox programs. It's all really a work that I really, really love and enjoy. Very fulfilling career. So I think that's why I'm able to continue with it. And I'd love to still continue with that.
The evidence is there. It seems like you quite have a good solid grip on both the business and the health side as well.
Yeah, I mean, somehow it really just flows.
You found a way to make it work.
Yeah, it doesn't really ever contradict each other. In fact, people are like, "Hey, Dr. KOVA," and I'm like,
Dr. KOVA is nice.
Yeah, sometimes the worlds merge. Clients will walk in and be like, "Oh, hi, doctor," and I know them from this era, or I know them from this side of my life. But I love being able to practice naturopathy, like I said. Like you could hear, I'm very passionate about it. Working with people, empowering people. But I also really, really love KOVA. It's that creative outlet. I think I've always had an urge to be creative, to work with my hands, to create art, to create, I did sewing, needlework, all of that, YouTube, DIY,
all of that.
So I love having this creative outlet. I think I'm really blessed that I could turn it into a business that is thriving and that Namibian women and men really, really love and support the brand. So I'm really grateful for that.
Was that always the vision? Like when you started KOVA, did you think it would be as big as it is now? Or was it just a side hustle?
I never had said it. No, I think the growth has been phenomenal, especially over the past 2-3 years. The beginning was kind of slow.
Of course.
People are like, "Hey, that's nice." Your friends buy, and then your family members. And then more and more people wanted bags. We had to, step up our production, increase productivity. We initially started selling in a studio with other Namibian designers. And when the studio closed, we actually opened up our own store. So the growth, I couldn't have envisioned that it would be this big, this quick. But I'm excited about, having created a brand that is of such good quality that we can make it global. And it's local, it's Namibian, and Namibians are embracing it. And we definitely see the brand going continental and then obviously global. That's the dream, that's the vision. And sometimes your dreams can be a bit limited until they outgrow you, and you have to kind of think bigger. But it's all really rewarding and really exciting.
That's good. I actually just asked about the naturopathic profession because I wanted to know, how does a doctor end up specializing in handbags or producing handbags? I just wanted to find the connection over there. But
I don't even know if there is a connection, but it somehow works. And I love the fact that I can, we living in Namibia, we have opportunities and we have the sort of environment to be able to thrive in whatever we want to do.
Yeah.
I also love the fact that you don't have to only be one thing, which is probably how our parents grew up. If you're a teacher, you're just a teacher. If you're a nurse, that's what you're going to remain. If you're a lawyer, that's what you're going to stay. But I think more and more nowadays, and probably also with the youth, is that that you can be different things.
Definitely.
You can be a lawyer by day, you can be a DJ by night, So, and I think creativity really adds a lot of fulfillment and joy to life.
True.
And I love that creativity can also be very profitable if you are serious about it.
I love that.
So I think these opportunities should definitely be grabbed.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So obviously we know entrepreneurship is not easy. And as you mentioned, usually at the start, it's quite slow. Or have you any, from the obstacles that you've had to face, can you perhaps share some of those and perhaps how you managed to navigate through these challenges?
I mean, definitely every business is going to have its challenges. Sometimes they're big, sometimes they're small, sometimes it's things that you only in hindsight, you're like, oh, that was quite a big challenge. So with KOVA, I think because it was a organic growth, it wasn't my primary source of income. We could grow steadily and slowly. But things that were challenging was, first of all, I had to learn the craft. I had to learn about leather. Things like what tools to use, what kind of machines work. Your needles would break and nobody has replacement needles in the country. Then you have to wait for 2-3 weeks. So these are all things that they're just part of running a business, It also makes you become a little bit more innovative. You try different solutions to your problems. But really I don't think I've had really huge challenges that I couldn't overcome. I mean, there were things like COVID,
Okay, perhaps you can share. How did you manage to maneuver through COVID?
I think we took a little bit of a break. I mean, there was times when nobody could move around and the risk of, COVID was quite high. But we kind of just navigated through that, took a bit of a break, came back. For me, also scaling is one of my biggest challenges because you want to grow, but you don't want to grow so big that you're losing out on that, the finer details of your craft and your product because there's also been a lot of pressure sometimes to produce high numbers, but that can affect quality. So kind of striking that balance where you have to grow, but you still want to, you want to grow sustainably, but you don't want to lose quality, that craftsmanship, things like even working hours for my employees, you want everybody to keep working all the time, but then people need to rest, employees get sick, they need time with their families. So I'm really big on creating a working environment that's pleasant for my employees so that people like coming to work. For example, we work Monday to Friday, Saturdays, everybody can relax and, do their other side hustles or whatever they want to do, relax and rest. So for me, creating a good working environment, it had its challenges because you have to manage different personalities. People have different expectations. They work differently at different paces. So just kind of balancing that all out was also a little bit of a challenge, but I think we're doing okay.
It's good. It shows a lot of persistence and focus, or you focus on the vision and execute it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll try.
All right. So I don't know, on social media lately, there's been a lot of clips going around about people having morning routines and stuff. So I wanted to ask if Dr. KOVA perhaps has a particular morning routine that you do every morning. Do you also do the ice bucket and ice cubes and dip your face in it? Or
it's a bit intense. I saw that recently. Okay. There's definitely benefits to it. My morning routine, because I'm also a mom, is really also around my children, getting them up, prepping them for school, feeding them, and then sending them off. And then my morning starts once they're off to school. I usually go to the gym. I try to make it 4 times a week, but sometimes I only manage 3. I'm a big believer in, regular exercise. It's amazing for obviously your physical health, a little bit of vanity, stay cute, but yeah, physical exercise for me is an important part of my day for my mental health, for my physical health. It's something that I really prioritize. So making time to make sure that I exercise, and I make it to the gym at least 3 times a week, optimally 4 times a week. And then, after I'm done with exercising, back home, get ready. I usually go to the practice in the morning, see my patients. Sometimes I will be there full day, depending on the bookings. After which I then go over to KOVA, see what I need to do. And, then of course, get home in the evening, help prep dinner, get the kids in the evening routine, and then off to bed, and then a bit of Netflix.
It's basically a 24 hours in the life.
Yeah, something like that.
All right.
But it varies. Some days are completely different, but generally that's my...
As a typical day, that's how it would look like.
Day. Yeah.
All right. I believe you probably answered it already. I mean, obviously, I can tell you're quite passionate about what you do. What would you say is the one thing that actually keeps you going? Every morning, no matter what the situation is, negative or positive day that you're having, what keeps you going?
Sure. What keeps me going? Well, personally, I feel like I'm on earth for a reason. I need to give back to society. Then, of course, my family, my kids, I must provide for them. But also myself, I need to make sure that I get up, keep going, work, so that I can also give myself the life that I want. So that I can continue to enjoy the freedom and the benefits of working. So, but also I like what I do. So if I'm down for a day or 2, it happens, just, dust myself off and continue. Like I say, I'm pretty self-driven, but I also have amazing friends and family that are very supportive, that really believe in me. So if I'm feeling a bit, under the weather, I have people that I can speak to that can sort of remind me, you're a baddie. So I think, I'm generally self-driven, but I also know that when I'm a little bit down, it's okay to be down, but you have to get up eventually.
Because it happens, right?
It happens, and it's normal, and it's part of life, but you just need to remember also the bigger vision, your goal in life. What do you want to do?
That's beautiful. All right. So one last question, obviously.
Already.
So we have probably aspiring entrepreneurs or people that are already entrepreneurs that are going to be watching. is there any sort of advice or tips that you would give them, whether they're starting or already have started and they're facing maybe setbacks or maybe even feeling like giving up?
I think aside from, the tips that I already gave, you really, you do need to believe in your idea. And you need to know that just because one business fails doesn't mean you're the failure. Sometimes it's the wrong timing. Maybe your product needs to be refined. Maybe people don't quite understand your service. But if you try the same thing next year, it could be a hit.
Work, yeah.
So I think that one of the important lessons that I've learned in terms of business and even just ideas within a business, right, is that you must fail fast and then you must fail forward. You need to keep it going, because if you kind of become too discouraged because one thing didn't work, the one company you really wanted as a client said no, you're not going to get anywhere. Failure or setbacks, it's just part of the process. In fact, it's a part of life, You need to just keep going and persevere. And with business, for entrepreneurs, people who want to start something from scratch, it's advice that I've heard before. I don't know if it always applies, but to sort of find a need, and satisfy that need. Find a problem and get the solution, and then sell your solution. And also try to be innovative. Copycatting is not really cool. You know what I mean? Just because somebody started a specific business, they're making money, you want to go and duplicate everything, but it's not even anything you understand. There's nothing you're interested in. So also follow your gut and, kind of know your strengths and your weaknesses. Your weaknesses shouldn't necessarily stop you from going to certain types of businesses, but it should encourage you then to, to make it a strength. Like, educate yourself, research. We have so much at the tip of our hands just to,
social media,
ChatGPT and Google and YouTube. So empower yourself, get to know more about whatever business it is that you want to go into. Speak to people that are in business, because you'd be surprised at how many people are willing to talk about, their journey, and it can be encouraging, it can be supportive, you can get new ideas, and you might get a new way to look at your challenges, and it might make them easier to overcome. So, I think believing in yourself and in your idea is key.
All right. So one of the most common trends or topics that have come up in most recent years is mental health and how to navigate yourself when you're having mental health issues. Can doctor perhaps, obviously, seeing as you're a doctor, perhaps you have professional tips as well, besides the personal ones, that you can share with us in terms of how you mentor your mental health, whether it's stress or whatever it is that you may be experiencing?
So for me personally, exercise is really important when it comes to my mental health. Stress is a part of life when you're juggling so many things. So exercise really helps. You de-stress, you increase your endorphins, your happy hormones. You're more calm, you're more relaxed, you sleep better, so you have more energy. So for me, exercise is a very important aspect of maintaining good mental health. I think personally also always taking time to check in with myself, recognize where I'm at. If I'm not having a good day, sort of acknowledge that and see what I can do to make it better. Obviously, as a doctor, you look for the clinical signs of things like depression, anxiety, but just also recognizing them for what they are and trying to get it sort of dealt with and addressed, because there's a lot of denial also in our society. You get
Very
people
true.
with all these new trendy words like high functional depression or whatever, but really being in touch with yourself and really, taking time out if you're not okay to see what you can do to be okay, to seek help, counseling, or whatever it is to address your mental health issues. So personally, I also think it's very important to balance work with leisure. Downtime is very important for me. Spending time with my friends, were amazing. Spending time with my family, spending time with my children, but also taking time out for myself, self-care, reading,
Like spa dates and stuff like that?
Yeah, spa dates. I'm a big brunch girl.
All right.
So, just trying to balance it all out. And it's not always going to be in balance. There's a time when you're going to be working a lot, but then you need to, find pockets of happiness, find pockets of me time, find pockets of spa time, So, I think just trying to remember that you are not just your job and you are not just a mom. So just try and and kind of be good to yourself through it all, and also give yourself a break when things aren't going that great, not always be so hard on yourself, and also celebrating the little joys in life, celebrating wins, and surrounding yourself with people that also believe in you, that encourage you, that support you, that will check in on you when you're not quite,
100,
okay, but also being that to the people.
All right, Doctor. So perhaps if someone is watching and this is the first time they come across the name or the brand KOVA, can you perhaps inform them and tell them what it is?
Okay, well, like you introduced it very beautifully. We are a local 100% Namibian leather manufacturing company. We focus on the production of high quality leather goods. We mostly focus on a very classic minimalist type of aesthetic. We make big, large handbags and totes, but also smaller bags like this one that you can put inside your leather tote. So we also do products like card holders, sunglasses pouches, covers for iPads, laptop sleeves. We're looking forward to producing a wider range of products with leather. It's such an amazing medium that, we still haven't even scratched the surface, I don't know, we could be sitting on KOVA couches in a couple of years.
Oh, yeah, nice.
So, we mostly focus on mostly women's handbags, tote bags. Leather is a very durable, it's also an amazing medium to work with because every piece of leather comes from a different animal. So you can have variations that are really beautifully differentiate between different bags. So no two bags are ever exactly the same because it depends on the animal, the scratches, where it was. Was it a cow or was it a kudu? So all of these things add to the charm of leather. Leather also ages very well, so it gets a little bit darker as you use it, and it's just a really beautiful material to work with. It's local. We do everything here in Namibia. We do the branding here.
Beautiful.
We do the designs in-house. KOVA is a truly Namibian brand.
100%.
It's local. It's really made with a lot of love and passion and craftsmanship. So that's KOVA, 100% truly Namibian leather brand.
By the Namibians, for the Namibians.
Absolutely. And I mean, the Namibian audience has been amazing. The support has continued to grow. Our clients love the products, but they also really love the brand. So they always come back and gift other people, get different colors, get different sizes. And that's really encouraging for us as a brand it encourages us to come up with more products and to continue to deliver quality products.
Yes, no, I can attest to that definitely. Like with the colleagues that I work around here at the office, it's always a thing when you ask them like for birthday gifts or birthday ideas and stuff, like make sure there's a KOVA handbag in there or something like that.
I was really excited to see it seems like it's a newer thing of having a whole birthday wish list. Yeah. And every time we spot KOVA, they were like,
we made it.
Absolutely.
No, but I think that's just like a testimony to the hard work and passion that you put into the brand. That's why it's quite popular with the locals.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, Doctor, thank you very much for taking time, obviously, to spend a few hours with us. Thank you for your advice. I think I'm definitely empowered and empowered definitely and educated from all that you said. I think I'll take some nuggets for myself also and apply them to my personal life.
It was definitely a pleasure being here and sharing. I love sharing. And sharing my story. You never know who you might encourage and inspire out there. So thank you so much for the opportunity. It's been such a pleasure to be here.
And that's the same I like to say. I hope you guys are inspired and motivated from the Preneur Podcast. See you guys next week.